Greetings, dear precious spirit soul, divine being that you are, at the level of who you are, beyond any thinking, beyond memory, beyond past, beyond future, beyond the, the physical body, the material realm, to right there to where you are. Take a breath, breathe in through your nose, into your heart, out of your mind, and let it go. Use your breath to bring you right back to your center, right back to who you are. My topic is really our greatest problem, our greatest problem. And see, what happens is a problem basically is an obstruction. Like there's something you want to be, do, or have, basically. And then there's an obstruction. There's either someone in your way, or a belief in your way, or a rule, or a law, or something. Now here's one of the big traps. To believe that something is better than no thing. No. You are a no thing. You're nothing. Because you're not a thing. You generate things. It would be like believing you are your computer, or believing that you are a computer because you've been told that. No, the mind, you see, is a very complicated device, and it's a machine. I've been to the end of my mind before. Many years ago, I did a lot of the ecstasy breathing, I would call it, because it was using the breath, and you would process through all kinds of beliefs that you could let go, and you would reach a state of extraordinary bliss, because you were free of all these thought forms that were causing you to create problems, as if this person is against you, that person is against you, this is trying to stop you, that's trying to stop you. Okay. So our greatest problem then is not knowing who we are, and believing what we've been taught, what we've been told, what we've been programmed to believe, what we have been indoctrinated to accept and believe on all levels, about everything. Things are out here. Now, there's two different numbering systems. And see, every mathematician loves a problem because they're playing with numbers. And in this reality, you see, in the Eastern philosophies, the number system starts with 0, which means us. And in the Western way, it starts with 1, the thing itself, something, a thing. So now you've got a 1 and a 0, and you know what that is, how that's used. So you overcome the problem by knowing who you are and realizing you're agreeing to the problem. You are giving someone or something else, a thing, in this realm, power over you see. And how you solve that problem is to do your spiritual work. You see, it's all, people are always saying, oh, it's going to happen, we're all going to, it's like, I'm not talking to everybody out there because most people don't even know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But if you are listening, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not telling you what to do at all. I'm giving you the results of all of my research, as I'm a relentless researcher, always looking to the root of that, and the root of that, and the root of that. I don't set up shop on a certain step on a ladder and then make a business out of it. You see, what happens is our greatest problem is dealing with our own mind and also dealing with the minds of others. Most people are building a case, you see, because bottom line, basic belief programs, very strong, or you're not good enough, you don't know enough. And so then it's always that belief in success and failure. You've got to be a success in the world, and you don't want to be a failure, because failure is loss, it's death, it's and all you do is lament the past and hanker in the future, you see. So our greatest problem then is not understanding and knowing also, besides knowing who we are, how the mind functions and how this reality functions. And what happens is when we go to the so-called experts, they've been trained, you see, actually really trained through reward and punishment, you see, to accept a false reality, an overlay. And we perceive this overlay as we become a witness. And when you are a witness and an observer, you're not reacting to the outer world, because it's your reactions. That means how much your emotion, that's emotion, that's the electricity, that's the power that generates the false. The power that generates the real is there is no power in that sense, because it's the absolute. Now, I'm an absolutist. And what happens is people who are relatives, all in the relative, they only have half-truths, or maybe a quarter of a truth. And then we'll say there's no absolute truth, to say, well, there's your truth, my truth, and everybody's building a case to try and promote and protect their case, what they're trying to prove. And when you're always trying to prove something, and others are trying to prove something, you have to protect yourself against, in a sense, being influenced, affected, depowered, demoralized by the case, by the game, you see, that either you're playing or someone else is playing. And people are game players. But you're not the game. See, that's the problem. You get lost in the game. That's like a, big time sports that are all rigged, that, and all this stuff, because, that's the game, you see. People don't, the house always wins, you see. But people keep doing it anyway because they think, well, there's hope. Hope and hopelessness are two sides of the same coin, because it's always about somebody or something else on the outside. So our biggest challenge and our biggest problem is not doing the work. And most people don't do the work. And I don't like to say that, because I would like everyone to be able to do the work. But for most people, that's too far out, because they believe their thoughts. They believe they are their thoughts. They believe they are their mind. They believe that they have to relentlessly be building a case like a lawyer, trying to justify, trying to promote, trying to prove, trying to protect, trying to blame, to find out who is the winner and who's the loser and who's the liar and who's the truth, because and that's the biggest problem that we also have in relationships. Is because, when there's positive and negative in everything. And what happens, people say, well, you got to think positive, don't think negative. No. All thinking is the problem. Because every word basically has an opposite as well. And we have meanings, so we give the meaning to that, and the meaning to their words, and the meaning to their emotions. And then you have the fear, you see, because we're both dependent and independent. When you're dependent upon your inner knowing, that's all you need to be dependent upon, you see. But what happens with the greatest problem is when we don't know who we are and stand strong in ourselves, we're basically a caricature of what our mind has created ourselves to be. You have your label, you have your degrees, you have your higher education. People are fighting and arguing because who knows the most. The more you know about this, because it's always new. Remember, technology, always the next thing. It's always the next thing. And you got to learn this, and then we're going to, history has changed again. So you could read this again. Well, who's changing it? And whose history, his story is it? It's about stories. And so what happens is when you are the hero, the heroine, how you want to call it, of your story, you believe you are the story, but you're not. And yet everybody is so wrapped into their story that they've got to live in the past over, and there is no future in the past, ultimately. Because there's no present, there's no now, there's no moment, there's no you. There's just these, where is it? Where is it? You see, how are you right now? All is well right now. I want you to say that. All is well right now. Say that. All is well right now. Right now. And if you master the now, which is master you, there are no problems. Because you don't have opposition to you from yourself. Okay. And these deep programs that are in, see, all they do is take, what would you do? Take a child. People are, a child, a short-bodied, but a divine being, fully powerful in every way. But by reincarnating and relentlessly doing the same game over and over and over again, people fall further and further and further and further into ignorance. Because they take the subtle body, you take your subtle body, the mind, the false intelligence, the false ego, all that stuff with you. Because it's not even with you because you're always right here. Okay? I know that's hard to grasp. And so the key, too, is, and I always call it, you invest in yourself, your knowledge. I mean, I invite you to email me. You could get the email on my website, which is terrycolewhittaker.com. And ask your questions, you see. Also, ask for information about some of my workshop retreats here in nature and what they're about. Use these videos. You see, this is a teaching not for you to become a believer and a follower. I'm not interested. I've done that before, you see. And people say, well, you've changed from what you said before. Well, no, the basics are there. But I don't set up camp on a belief system. And what happens when you challenge other people simply by being who you are, or bringing forth absolute truth that affects everyone, such as don't kill. See, killing and eating animals. The basic thing. Oh, no, everybody, you're lost, buddy. And you go further and further in cruelty and the guilt and the shame because you know what you've done. And then we'll be looking at how you get over that and how you start fresh in every moment. You see, you have to start fresh in every moment of now, because when you are in the original state of who you are, there are no problems. The challenge, though, is to know who you are and to know how this operates and know how to manifest what you need and want in this reality without being contaminated by it. You see what I'm saying? That's what real divine intelligence is about. And I have a course that'll be starting up here at Shasta at the end of June. And email me about that. It's all Mastery of Manifestation. It's 3 weeks almost in a row on different topics and different subjects. All on how to manifest and who you are. It's a basic, fundamental course that I would call it advanced. And it's what's so amazing. People want you to be limited and to stay where you were, or you think that you are always there, but you're not. And only those who have eyes to see can see, and ears to hear can hear. And to realize, to have real eyes, can observe what's going on. And the key is, as soon as you get slimed or contaminated by the case that others are building, because everybody's building a case out there. They're trying to prove something, even prove that they exist by their past. You are existence. I'm a radical in that sense because I'm an absolutist and I'm a rootist and I'm a sleuth because I'm looking for me. Because that's all you've got is you and your divine, your God. You have to know. And to help others who desire this and want to know this. And not everyone wants it, but it is what everyone needs, you see. Every person. So you come back to the zero, to the no thing. People say, well, any relationship's better than none. That's not true. You have to have a relationship with yourself and the divine, you see. And when people say, well, you're God. Well, no, you're not the big deal. Are you serious? That's complete bonkers. Some people think they are, they act they are, or they have amount of money that they could do whatever they do because they buy people. People sell their souls for coins. So what I'm talking about is real power, you see. Real divine power. And it's not about, oh, when I leave here and I go to the spiritual world, you are a spiritual divine being. And your world, your inner world, is being reflected in your outer world. And not that you created that, not that you did that, but with a lack of knowledge and awareness of who you really are. And that's actually the real be-morings, because I don't say be less you, bless. That's a really dumb. Everybody's saying be less you, bless you. No, say it a little differently, you see what it really means. And the problem is when you're praying, so you have to know and be certain and intend within you. Because pray also is a voracious, maybe hungry tiger is preying on some food. But then also praying, what are you doing for someone or something outside to help you? Look how weak humanity has become, or people. We're even defining ourselves as human. How helpless, how foolish, and so dependent upon technology that they even say humanity won't survive because of the loss of energy. But you are energy. You generate it. It's who you are. It's not about just this now, but every now, every moment. And if you really love yourself, which to me means self-honoring, you will do whatever you can to know the absolute truth, and it does exist. Little half-truths, quarter-truths are just used to manipulate foolish people. To me, all channeling is a racket. And vulnerable people, oh yeah, I'm the only one. I channeled this, and really? I fell for that for a while. Oh yeah. So what? We all fell for a lot of stuff. You want to take back that power. The greatest problem is not owning fully and standing strong in who you are.
That was good.
The audience.
Very good audience.
You're right. He said, but where's the food?
Okay, so